always love it when the resource board members help explain the whole thing, the process for me. So that's great. Thanks so much, Simon, for helping out today. Basically, I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what Enterprise Facilitation is all about and why we are actually here in somebody else's business today. So really briefly, what it is, it's a grassroots approach to economic development. Basically, it's about understanding that when a business needs support, that all of the expertise and the intelligence is right within the community to help them grow and succeed as a business. We always say, oh, you've got to be able to do everything as a business owner. Well, that's not necessarily true. And so what Enterprise Facilitation does is it helps out business people that are in an existing business, like Granicrete, Ontario. New businesses, we help them to start up if they're looking for, help from start to finish. If they're just looking to, for us to answer some questions for them, then Enterprise Facilitation is here to help do that. There's myself here in Hastings County, and actually I'm all the way up to Maynooth, so it's quite a big territory, basically. And so we have actually, as of today, 49 different businesses that we've been working with. So that's fantastic, and we did have that launch last week in Marmara, and we had a lot of people there that were supporting that business as well. So it's really nice to see when the community actually comes out, recognizes the business, all the hard work that they've done, and I know Cindy and John have done a tremendous amount of work just to get to this point. What you guys don't know is that if you look outside after the ground that's fresh ground, that was where their house was. So not only have they built their business within a year, they've actually had their house, because of misfortune, had to be torn down. They're rebuilding their house, they've rebuilt their business, all within this year. So this is an incredible feat for them. I'm so proud of them. I know Cindy as well prior to Enterprise Facilitation, and I'm so happy that we were able to get them into the program. So before I introduce you guys, I'm going to introduce Linda McCowan, and if you wouldn't mind saying a couple words about the Sirolli Institute and how we kind of came to be in this area.
Thank you very much, Darcelle. The Sirolli Institute is an international institute that is dedicated to helping small entrepreneurs meet their dreams. And our whole premise is that an entrepreneur does not have to go through life doing it by themselves. And the perfect example of that is my husband and I, and I'll explain that. My husband and I own a very small antique store in the middle of Kansas. I love rural areas and I love small towns. My town has 311 people, and we do count the dogs, so that's a little iffy on the numbers. But when we opened our business, we were so excited. We both had a passion for antiques. And my husband, in all of his glorious wisdom, turned to me one day and said, oh, and by the way, Linda, will you do the books? And because I'm such a wonderful wife, I said, certainly. And one of the last things that I remember in that whole era of my life was us screaming and fighting with each other because Linda never got the books done on time. I never knew when to pay the taxes. I never knew when I was supposed to go see the CPA. I didn't know how to price things correctly. But I had a passion for antiques. I loved them. I loved to sell them. I loved to make huge displays. I love to bring people in and have red hat parties. I don't know if you know what those are. You have red hats here. Have wonderful things going on. So if you look at my business, what I love to do, my passion about that whole business was marketing. I love getting people through the door and explaining to them how they could use antiques in their home. My husband's passion about antiques were the actual antiques. He loved the woods. He knew the woods. He knew the clays that were used in all the dumpy old urns that he loves that I hate. He knew what this piece was because he grew up on a farm, and when he saw a little piece of metal that was bent with a hole in it, he knew it came off a certain part of a harness that only worked with Appaloosas and blah, blah, blah. So he really knew the product. So the part that was totally missing in this whole thing was someone who was really excited and passionate about doing the numbers. But because I was such a good wife, I was doing it. And the bottom line was what I was doing was something very poorly that I hated to do. When I found out about Enterprise Facilitation and found out, Linda, you don't have to do the books. Why don't you hire someone to do it? What a concept. Oh, but we don't have the money for that. We are a struggling new business. But I decided to put this to a test. I went to a woman who was actually one of our customers, who was a CPA. I thought maybe she'd barter a little bit, is what I was hoping she would do. And I said, what we need is someone to do this dumb paperwork and get it in on time. I hate it. I don't know how to do it. I do it incorrectly. I have fines. I have problems. And she said, oh, I can take care of that, and it's going to cost you $600 a year, which actually is a pretty good price. She was doing it already at a darn pretty good price. And I told my husband I thought he was going to have a heart attack right then and there, because where are we going to find $600 a year, and blah, blah, blah. And one of the first things she said to me is, she goes, could you get me your taxes for the last 3 years? Well, being the wonderful financial manager that I am, no, I didn't know where I put them. I didn't have a clue. But I did find them. I found them, I took them to her, she went through them, and guess what she did? She found some problems. And the first thing that we got was $1,800 back from the government because I had done some things wrong. So what she essentially did the first time she looked at my books was pay for herself for the next 3 years. What we say is, don't go into business alone. Absolutely do the part that you love to do and do it beautifully. I love to make the displays, talk with the people, and have good times. My husband loves the product. We now have a partner named C, and C helps us with all of the books. I never have to worry about it. Guess what? My husband and I are still married, and I blame that all on C. So what we do as Enterprise Facilitators is we come in, and my background is as an Enterprise Facilitator. I went through the training. I was a facilitator for 4.5 years in Central Kansas, and we opened up 52 businesses in that 4.5 years. Of those 52 businesses, 48 of them are still going. The nice thing about Enterprise Facilitation is the sustainability of the businesses. Businesses that are out there struggling on their own, trying to do things incorrectly that they hate to do, those are the ones that fail. It is too much, it causes problems, they get overwhelmed, they're not sleeping, they get bad health, whatever you want to call it, the bottom line is they didn't have the right people in the right places. So what we encourage our facilitators to do when they talk with new people, like Cindy and John, we find out what they love to do. Now, I only talked with Cindy for just a minute. She's very creative. She got so excited when she said, oh, it's almost like an artist when I do this. And it's beautiful what she does. I'm going to make just a quick guess here, but I bet she's not real excited about doing all the paperwork that comes with everything. It's okay, because I'll bet you Darcelle has recognized that and has found someone that loves to do that part. It may be John, it may be someone else. The whole thing that we say is get your team together, open your business, certainly, but make sure that you're doing the part that you're passionate about. Ernesto Sirolli discovered this whole idea about 24 years ago, and he is the father of Enterprise Facilitation. I truly believe in it. I saw how it made a difference, not only in my life, but in my marriage, and in my business. When we had a tragedy about 1.5 years ago, our business burned to the ground. The first person to call me was my financial advisor, and she goes, don't sign anything, don't do anything until I come down and talk with you. Do you know how nice that was? Because I was traumatized, my husband was just devastated. To have someone there that was level-headed to help walk us through all of the stuff that we had to do was very nice. So, our thanks to Darcelle for this happened very nicely, that it fit in with my plans to be able to be up here and come see this. now that I know that it's international, I can find out where it's at in Kansas and see if they can't. I can't get that green on my countertops. But I really appreciate being here. Thank you for letting me maybe explain facilitation a little bit better. And best of luck to you, John and Cindy. I really